What's up, it's your man OGDuffy, and wait till you see this one. I've got my hands on a plug and play retro gaming drive. It promises over 20,000 games. Yep, 20,000, covering just about every console we grew up with. I mean, we're talking We're talking PS2, Dreamcast, GameCube, you know, even the mighty Xbox, even the Xbox 360, and even the Wii U, all packed into one little 1 terabyte drive from AliExpress. It's got 3 front ends that are built in, RetroBat for all those classic consoles that we all know and love so much, PlayNite for the big hitters and those AAA titles, and then there's HyperSpin for that proper old arcade style, you know, buzz, which is probably my favourite. Well, it all sounds too good to be true, doesn't it, right? Well, but do you know what? We're going to go plug it in, fire it up, and we're going to see if this thing really does deliver the ultimate retro fix, or if it's just another overhyped hard drive. Grab a brew, because I'll tell you something, this one's going to be interesting. In the front end here, as you can see, so we've got HyperSpin, PlayNite and RetroBat. And we'll take a look at RetroBat first. As you can see in the very top of the screen there, it tells you 2,618. That's the amount of games for each system. That's the Commodore 64 there. Xbox. Okay, I've always found Xbox out of these drives quite temperamental, and it needs tweaking. So it'd be interesting to see how that performs. Only 6 games there, but we'll see which ones they are. You got Burnout, Capcom versus SNK 2, Fable, The Lost Chapters. Such an amazing game, Fable. Although it's showing the Xbox 360 cover there, isn't it? Or is that the original Xbox? No, it's the budget. Platinum. Forza Motorsport, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, and Halo Combat Evolved. What a game that was. So it'd be interesting to see how the Xbox performs off this drive. Xbox 360 again is another one that can be temperamental in terms of working off the bat, so to speak. So might need some tweaking, might not, but as I say, but it'd be interesting. 12 games on that one. Let's take a look. Adventure Time with Finn and Jake, sorry, oh my bad. Barja 1000, Dirt 2, Forza 2, Gears of War 2, need no introduction, them games do they? Grid 2, Halo 3, Metal Gear Solid, Rising Vengeance, Prototype, Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare, Resident Evil 4 and Tekken 6. Okay, a PC Engine, that was a great little console when it first dropped all them years ago, and it was only ever available over here in the UK on import, so I was always very jealous of seeing screenshots in magazines and things. Nintendo NES, just over 1,100 games. Game Boy, 859. Super Nintendo, 2,106. Take a quick look at that. We're not going to hang around for long on these older systems, but we're looking to see what the repeat nature's like on these, the multiples. So here we go. Aero the Acrobat 2, so 2 copies of that. Aero's the Acrobat 1, so 2 copies. Air Cavalry, 2 copies again. So where it's telling you Alien 3, there's 3 copies. It tells you there the European, the Japanese, and of course the American. So there are multiples for sure on them. Okay, so that's Game Boy. We've got 859. You just done Super Nintendo. N64 there, 308 games. Okay, take a quick look at the N64, see what they've got on here. Strangely, doesn't seem to be any sort of duplicates on this one, so just on the SNES there, which is strange. Okay, what we got here? Bomberman 64, the Second Attack. Normal Bomberman 64. Let's shoot forward to Mario, HRJKLM. As you can see, they're all in alphabetical order. You've got your Mario games on there: Golf, Kart, Party 2, Party 3, Tennis. So yeah, nice little range there. Game Boy Color, 596. What else we got there? Nintendo GameCube, 10 games. Let's take a look, see what they are. Again, no repeats, except for the games with multiple discs. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, NCAA Football, Resident Evil, Disc 1, Disc 2, Resident Evil 4, Disc 1, Disc 2, SSX 3, Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, and Beautiful Joe. So although a limited number of GameCube games there, decent titles, so not too bad. Game Boy Advance there, 1,133, Nintendo DS, 32 games, the Wii, 9 games in total on the Wii, a Wii U here, 5 games for the Wii U. Let's have a quick look, let's see what the Wii U games are. Bayonetta, Pikmin 3, Rayman Legends, Super Mario 3D World, okay, and Super Mario Maker. Nintendo 3DS there, 12 games. Quick look at that. I don't play 3DS that often. A couple of Zelda games on there. Mario Kart, Metroid, Professor Layton. Mrs. OG likes a bit of Professor Layton, so yeah, that's not bad. 3D Mario Land. Yeah, so again, some decent titles on that one as well. Nintendo Switch, just take a quick look. 12 games, this will be interesting. Bayonetta 2, Celeste, Hades, Hollow Knight, It Takes Two, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, okay, Persona 5 Royale, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, wow, that's interesting, Mario Odyssey, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild. Okay, coming out of that, homebrew and ports. These come on most of these systems, and it's usually Doom. Yes, it is Doom, and quite often there's also sort of a version of Minecraft on there as well. A Sega Genesis 946, a Mega Drive 522, Game Gear 335, and Sega CD 32X 35. Sega Saturn. Let's take 25 games. Let's take a quick look at those. He says pressing the wrong button. Command and Conquer. Oh, who remembers that? That was a classic game. I really enjoyed that back in the day. Dark Light Conflicts, new one on me. Excuse me. Radiant Silvergun. A very good name that has. It's quite a decent shoot 'em up if I recall. Sonic Jam, Street Fighter 2 Alpha, Virtua Cop, Tomb Raider, Virtua Fighter 2, Virtua Fighter Remix. So what you'd come to expect from the Sega Saturn there. Dreamcast, 14 games. Cannon Spike, Crazy Taxi 2, Dead or Alive 2, Fighting Vipers 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We've seen a bit of a pattern here. Rayman 2, The Great Escape, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, Sega GT. I enjoyed Sega GT. I put a lot of hours into that. Sega Rally 2, Sonic Adventure, Street Fighter Alpha 3, House of the Dead 2, The King of Fighters, and Virtua Tennis. Needs no introduction, that game. Absolutely love Virtua Tennis. Such a playable game. Neo Geo MVS there, 140. PS1, 61 games. Okay. Usually a few more PS1 games. So let's check out and see if there are any sort of multiples on this. Ape Escape, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Colony Wars Disc 1, Disc 2. So that's not looking too bad in terms of multiples. There isn't. The only multiples you're seeing there is obviously where it's multiple discs. So that's not too bad at all. Metal Gear Solid, it's got the classics on there. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Parasite Eve, Resident Evil, Tony Hawk's Skater, Skate 2, Vagrant Story, Wipeout. And yeah, so some good classic PS1 titles on there. PS2, a total of 19 games, quite limited. Bully, Devil May Cry, God of War, Metal Gear Solid 2, Substance, Silent Hill 2, Tekken 5. Yeah, so the usual suspects and decent titles actually. PSP, not a system I'm fully au fait with. It's obviously a handheld. Little OG had one back in the day. I remember getting in one. Crush, Darius Burst, FIFA, God of War, Hot Shot Casino, I don't know, there's all sorts on there. The usual ones again, Digital Graphic, Metal Gear Solid, okay, MLB, Power Stone Collection, Sid Meier's Pirates. I've got such a love and affiliation for that game. I love that game in all its form. Virtua Tennis 3, and again, Wipeout makes an appearance. PS3, okay, 10 games. Arkham Asylum, Metal Gear Solid 3, yeah, so Uncharted, etc. So quite the selection now. all games. This is interesting. It's telling us up the top there there's 13,591 games, and from what we've seen so far, a lot of them are not repeated, so that's not too bad. Arcade 0, and rightly so, because they will appear under the other front end, which is just mainly arcade games. Favourites, what's good about this, if you find a game you really like on whichever system, in whichever folder, you can add them to this favourites folder, so it's easier to find your games as you come back in. Light gun games and more arcade there again on 0. Okay, and back to RetroBat there, which does your sort of, that's for your settings and configuration. One thing actually while we're here, Atari ST there and Commodore 64 are home computer systems. On a personal note, I don't really bother using these sort of drives for that. What I would do though, if I had a separate emulator set up, I could drag the ROMs maybe from the drive and use them in that way. I just find it's the front end it doesn't play as well, because obviously it's computer, so it's keyboard related and mouse related and everything else, so quite often, yeah, I find they're a bit temperamental. That was RetroBat. Now let's go do HyperSpin next, which is probably my favourite. I love the arcade games, so HyperSpin is the one for me. First one we come into here really is this Final Burn Alpha. This says it has 6,468 games, but how many of these are repeats, shall we say, because these are your typical arcade ROMs. Here we go. So these are all your classic arcade games. So if we start looking, like Twin Brats, there's 3 copies of it. So with a lot of multiples going on in this section. Twin Cobra, 3 copies. So you can see there how this number is greatly exaggerated, shall we say. So the reality, it's probably about 1,200, I guess, because like I say, 2 times there's 1 of, and TLYLZ there's 1 of. 3 of that, 5 of that, 1 of that, you know. So by the time you do the maths, you're probably looking at about 1,200 titles, I would guesstimate. A bit of Mortal Kombat on there, all your classics on here, all your arcade games that you know, Undercover Cops, throughout the years will all be on here, up and down. V-Line, I'll skip through. As you can see, it's all in alphabetical order. Vampire Saviour 2, Vampire Saviour. They're pretty much all on here, the Night Warriors. If you can imagine an arcade game from back in the day, this is probably the section under this one where you're going to find it. Victory Road, Video Hustler, etc. Vigilante, Vindicators. I mean, these titles to me are all just classics. Oh, look at that one. Gradius 2. Gradius, or Nemesis as we knew it over here in the West, WrestleMania. So literally there is something for everyone on here, and like I say, I'm just a lover of arcade games, so this does it for me. So Final Burn Alpha, where I'll spend most of my time, but like I say, the only bugbear is a lot of those are repeating. Them ROMs are repeating, so I'd probably, if I really wanted to, I'd go into the file structure and I could delete quite a few of them, and then that way you can make it, adjust the system to your suiting, shall we say. Coming back out now, strangely, they've got PS4 here and PS5 listed. I can confirm straight away, these are not PS4 games, these are not PS5 games, but they are their equivalents on PC, so it's the PC versions of these games. Anyway, a quick look at PS4. Horizon Chase Turbo, Sense, Troll Hunters, West of Dead. A lot of these are new to me. Dev's Gambit, I don't know many of these games. So there you go, it's just a handful of games there. Horizon Chase Turbo, I'm sure I've played that before off one of these drives. It was a fun little game actually, yeah, good fun. That's the one, yeah, very cartoony. So yeah, little something there. And again with the PS5, go on here quickly, there's just 2 games as you can see. There's Elden Ring, that got rave reviews when that first came out. I've never played it. And Final Fantasy 7, that's the remake. So there's only the 2 games there, PS5. But as I said, they're not actually PS4, they're not actually PS5. Atomic Wave, another arcade manufacturer here. Sort of games are on here. They made some good little games, but we'll see how many are repeated. I think that's the key. The King of Fighters, there's 2 of that. There's 1 of that there, 1 of that. Maximum Speed, 1 of. Metal Slug 6, 1 of. So, although there are some repeats on this, it's not as bad as the other one. Rumblefish, there's a couple there, yeah. Bass Fishing Challenge. So as you can see, there are plenty on here though. Plenty to keep you busy. Dolphin Blue, what a game that was. If you've never played it, well worth a play. A really, really good shooting game. A bit like Metal Slug, but really pretty graphics and stuff. So that's the Atomis Wave collection. There's quite a few on there. Plenty to keep you busy. As I say, coming back, we now got Sega M2. We're going to see a few repeats on this one, I'm guessing, straight away. Virtua Striker 2 of that. Wave Runner, Zero Gunner, 3 copies. Daytona USA Deluxe, and then Turbo. So 2 copies of normal and then 2 of the Max. Quite what the difference is between all of them, I'm not sure. Dead or Alive, Desert Tank, Dynamite Cop. That reminded me, that was a bit like Die Hard Arcade, wasn't it, if I recall? Yeah, I'm sure of it. Fighting Vipers, Gunblade. That was a good shoot-em up game. Light guns with the House of Dead, needs no introduction, Indy 500. So some classics there from Sega, and of course Sega Rally. Oh, Sega produced some absolutely stunning arcade games back in the day. Virtua Cop, I love Virtua Cop. Still very playable to this day. So Zero Gunner, Daytona. Right, so that's the M2 system. Let's go back. Let's try this M3. Let's take a look at this. Star Wars Arcade Trilogy. Oh, absolutely superb. I love the graphics on that. Virtua Fighter 3. Virtua Striker 2. Again, a few repeats on here. Dirt Devils. But if you're a fan of classic Sega, then there's quite a few Sega on here for sure. Okay. Anyway, yep, next up we've got Sega, again Naomi. What we got on this? Virtua Fighter. Right, okay, as you can see there, Virtua Fighter 4 Final Tune. See here, they've scraped it and they've got the nice sort of intro video going on, but this one hasn't been scraped for some reason, so it hasn't. It's minor, it's minuscule, but again, it's little tweaks like that just make these sort of drives perfect. Yeah, and like here, this one here, oh, that's showing it, but there's no not pretty font or anything. It's minuscule, it's a minor thing, but again, I'm sure it can be tweaked in settings if you want to go and fiddle with it, that is. Not everyone would. Next up, Sega Nomad. These will be your majority of sort of like Mega Drive games that were added to various bits and bobs. So there we go. You've got your Sonic collection, Streets of Rage 1, 2 and 3. And what's nice on this one as well, there's no repeats, which is good. Next up, you've got all games there, and it's saying that there are total, it doesn't say, but it's going to be a mad number. But again, we already know a lot of them are repeats. So that pretty much takes you to the rundown there from that. Now, finally, let's go take a look at PlayNite and the systems available through this. And then I'll show some gameplay from some of the systems before giving you my complete summary now. So how many games have you got on this? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, okay, so as you can see there's quite a few. So what's that, 57 in total if you look at that? So yep, 57, my maths holds up. Quick look at some of these. I don't know all of these titles, to be honest, because I'm more a retro gamer than I am a newer gamer. Angry Birds, Angry Birds Rio, Angry Birds Season, Angry Birds Space, and Star Wars 1 and 2. The reason I'm pointing out, I'm a big Angry Birds fan. I love Angry Birds. I think if you've got an afternoon and you just want to chill, a couple of beers, Angry Birds is where it's at. Asterix and Obelisk, Bendy and the Ink Machine, Dead or School, Crimson Keep. That sounds pretty up my street, actually. Quite what it's about, I've no idea. Castle Storm 2. Again, that looks like my sort of thing. Broforce, BlazBlue. What's that one? Blaster Master. Fury Unleashed. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It's quite an older GTA game now. A Lego game there. Lego World. Jump King. Mortal Kombat X. MotoGP 19. Pac-Man game there. Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. A very, very popular title. R-Type Dimensions EX. Streets of Rage there. Remake. Space Invaders Extreme. And finally Tools Up. So that gives us an overview of the of the free front ends. Let's see what some of them games or how they perform, because I've got questions about Xbox and Xbox 360 in particular, because they usually need tweaking.
Round 1. Fight!
Oh! Oh!
You win.
Get ready, one!
So after spending a fair bit of time with this little 1TB beast, here's the honest truth. Now, first off, remember, this plugs into your PC via USB. It's not going to magically work if you run it through your telly's USB socket or your console's USB socket. Just a PC setup. We got that out of the way, because I always get asked it. And like any emulation drive, the better the level your PC, the better top-end systems will run. Most stuff, sort of up to PS1 and the rest of it, they'll run even on the most bargain bin office PC, but Switch, Xbox 360, you know, the chunky boys, they're going to need a half-decent graphics card, processor, some decent RAM, as you would no doubt expect. Now, the drive itself, menu-wise, I found the front ends, they're pretty decent. They could do with a bit of love, though. A scrape here, a tweak there. Yeah, they needed some clean-up, especially with the artwork. Some artwork was missing and things like that. But honestly, I'm just nitpicking at the price that I paid for this. The duplicate games, especially in Final Burn in the arcade section there, it was very AliExpress special, you know what I mean? But if you ever bought one of these drives before, then you know the score. There's nothing new there. You always get loads of multiples. But what really surprised me, though, is how well everything ran straight out of the box. There was no fiddling with settings. I didn't have to dig into config files. Even the OG Xbox and the 360 stuff fired straight up, which is a rare thing on these pre-built drives. I've always found it's, you know, you've had to tweak and all that, but this was just proper refreshing. It was nice to do, you know. And for under 70 notes, this is a cracking bit of kit. Don't get me wrong, there's a few duplicate deletions that you need to do. Actually, if you want to really make it look really good, you could re-scrape the menus and things like that, you know. But even as it is, I consider it excellent value for money, really. It's one of the better plug-and-play drives I've tested. And like I say, at around 60 quid, 70 quid, you can't go wrong, you really can't. Now check out my review of the Kinhank X5 Pro. That one plugs straight into your TV, no PC needed at all, oh no. And if handhelds are more your thing, I've also reviewed the Kinhank K56. Both videos are on screen. Now go give them a watch and let me know which setup you would pick. I've been OGDuffy. Laters.